10-minute daily reality check, cruising through the month of January as we head towards the middle, which we're at right now, January, which is always good for you people on the East Coast that are freezing your asses off. You're thinking to yourself, wow, only a few more weeks till Groundhog Day, where that little furry little creature pokes his hoe out of a hole, Puxatawny Phil, and decides whether or not winter is going to last 6 weeks or 8 weeks. What the fuck? Where'd they come up with that shit from? Like some groundhog is like better than the internet and all these technological things, and we still have Groundhog Day. Like, get real, people, okay? It's not Groundhog Day any day. It's now Crypto Coin Day, okay? If the coin turns one direction or another, we know there's 6 more weeks of making money at an outrageous pace, or 8 more weeks of money at a smaller pace. Anyway, I'm just trying to play some humor into it. Mindset. Today is going to be mindset. It's a Thursday. We're going to talk mindset. And one of the greatest things about mindset is the way you program your brain. Your brain is everything. Your mind is, well, malleable. Your mind is soft. It can be reprogrammed every day. The only thing that needs to be hard is your dick. Your dick is hard. Your mind is soft. I love when people tell me all the time, well, I just had this relationship and she was really, or he, she, it was really wonderful, but it's going to be really hard to find somebody like that again. Yeah, you're right. It is going to be hard to find somebody like that again because, Obi, why? When you went out with somebody that we both know, right? And if you looked at me and said, God, it's going to be really hard to find somebody like that again, my answer would be like, thank fucking God it's going to be hard to find somebody like that again. Why do people always say, it's so hard, I'm never going to be able to make money like that again? And we're talking about Bitcoin a lot and investing and learning all about it. It's really the dot-com days all over again. So all of a sudden life just repeats itself with the lessons from the past that allow us to learn in the future. But what is this hardness that people talk about?
Well, I think we get kind of stuck on certain experiences and then we think, well, that was it. That was the top. That was the best it possibly could have been. Maybe if you had the best experience of your life, you think, well, then it can't get better than that, right? Oh. It can't get better than that. So that means it'll be hard to reach that peak again. But then you think about it and maybe that was only the best at that time for you. And there's more bests and there's more bests and there's more. And so if you look at life as like this long timeline, where you only really experience so much, like then you could say that maybe it'll be super easy to get that again because you're actually not going to get that same thing. You're going to get something even better than that. You know, you can get something beyond. You
know what I love about that? And this is, we're going to quote this. This is going to be our mantra because we're doing a vision board now, right? Yeah. And on top of our vision board, we're going to write life is a series of bests. Because that's the best way to reframe it, right? So here I was in 2014. Let's just put a random year. I dated this girl, and that was the fucking best at that time. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it didn't work out anymore due to the fact that our personalities, and you don't have to think to yourself, I didn't create enough attraction, or I wasn't more attentive and everything else. The relationship was never supposed to work out whether you would have created enough attraction or was attentive enough to her in the first place. It was the best that it could have been for the time that you were together, and the lessons that you learned will take you to a whole new plateau. When people say 2010 was the best year financially I ever had, well then why did you stop? We never stop going, growing, and being and evolving as people. So why are we fucking literally talking in the past like the past was the best? Look at Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. When's the best for them?
Every year. Every year is a new best. I mean, and you think about that, and they have like a habit of excellence and a habit of greatness. I think they expect it. And I feel like if we started expecting the best and expecting great things to come in, then maybe that idea of life is hard or things are hard or that's hard wouldn't really happen, I mean, sure, there's challenges, but is it hard? And I don't really think so. I think if you're enjoying yourself while you're doing it, then it's just part of it, right?
Well, there's something that's very interesting. Okay, and we'll take it with the Patriots, okay, because they're always in the news in January, right? There's something called the Patriot Way. People take less money to play on the Patriots. Mm-hmm. People, I always tell you all the time, like, God, if I can only sleep on Richard Branson's couch for a year. I mean, here's the thing. Mark Cuban looked at you and said, hey, Obi, I think you're a really cool guy. I'm looking for somebody to follow me around for 6 months. You're not going to get paid at all. You're going to have to buy your own meals, and you're going to have to sleep on my couch in my office, right? But after 6 months, you're probably going to go out and make millions and millions of dollars after that because I'm going to give you my entire brain, right? You would say yes. I would say yes. Who wouldn't say yes, right? But your own life is creating your own opportunities. Every opportunity you have in life is an opportunity to say yes to that. Say yes to everything that you have because the best is always yet to come. The Patriots are so great because every year you know they're going to be great because there's a Patriot way. So why don't we look at ourselves as a team? We got Michael standing there right now. Why don't you look at your life, Michael, as Team Michael? Right? So look at a relationship you might have had in the past and say that was the best that I could have done at that time. Did I go to the Super Bowl? No. Did I make the playoffs? No. I was 8-8. I made some mistakes. I learned a lot of lessons, but that was the best that I could have possibly done with the knowledge and information that I had up until that point in my life. Because of the experience and the knowledge and the information that I had up until that point in my life, I'm now able to move forward in life. So the next one's going to be even better, right? You're a great fucking story. Do you mind sharing your story about the little red Jetta? I mean, because I think that's great because you've hit low.
Yeah.
I've known you for 11 years now. You've hit low many times, and I've hit low too.
Yeah.
We've had different levels of low, but low is still low.
Yeah.
When we drop down, we're high, and then we drop down low, shit happens. But the little red Jetta is a great fucking story because now you're driving the fucking coolest fucking red sports car out there. And years ago, when they took the little red Jetta, you probably didn't think deep down that fucking red fucking BMW was on its way in the future, right? Because you didn't know what the fuck was going on. So share how you brought yourself back from that because you keep getting better. And you fuck up every day too, like we all do, right?
Yeah.
We admit our fuck ups and we have great conversations. We actually had one on the podcast last week, right? But how did you get there? Because that's the key thing. It's like you reframe things every day because you're accepting. But that little red Jetta was a big story.
Yeah, so I've had, like 10 years ago or so, I bought a motorcycle for the first time, and I used credit, and it was like the first, brand new thing I got. It got stolen like 2 weeks later, and because of that, I didn't have insurance on it, all this stuff. Anyway, I ended up saying, fuck it, I'm not going to pay for it. So I ended up fucking up my credit, right? So I ended up fucking up my credit for a long time, so I couldn't actually go out and get a new car. Finally ended up getting enough to be able to get a new car, and this is 2012 or something like that. Got a red Jetta, right? Brand new car. Making payments for it. Ended up not being able to pay for it after a certain amount of time, and did make payments on it for like 2 months. And they came, and one day they just took it from my driveway. It was around that time. There's a lot of things happening where I was just like in a really bad place financially. Emotionally, I know, yeah, emotionally. Really, it was a lot of stuff happened all at the same time, and so I kind of went into like this depression, and it was no good. And so I actually couldn't even afford to pay rent. I had to. I slept on my friend's couch for a couple of weeks.
Your landlord used to wait for you. He lived upstairs. He had to chase you. Yeah. You had to beg him for rent. And Opie would be like, "Oh man, there he is." What was it? Flip? What was his name? What was his name? Buzz, right? Buzz, Flip. I remember how strange Buzz was, right?
Yeah, and basically to the point where a friend of mine was like, "Yo, my parents have this retirement house just sitting on this beach in Nicaragua." Like in Central America. He's like, you can go there and get yourself together and then whatever. And so I basically left the country. I was so broke, left the country, went to Nicaragua, started thinking and planning and started putting stuff together. I was working every day. I just hustled for 3-4 months, started writing, doing a lot of copywriting, really got my copywriting game a lot better. Came back the next year and I made more money than I'd ever made in my life. And that kind of continued on until now. And so it went from the low, super, super low, leaving the country, broke as shit, and then coming back the next year and really killing it. I think just my whole mindset changed. I had a lot more focus, and I knew exactly what I wanted and how I wanted to make money. And then it's just crazy how things just flip like that. It's in a year, less than a year.
It's interesting because every experience is an experience. And when you look at that experience, we talked on yesterday's podcast, I gave the analogy of driving a car. Imagine if you got on to Jefferson or the 405, right? And I used this analogy yesterday. And everybody was driving the car the way they drive their emotions in life, right? you wouldn't know what direction to go because there'd be people driving in reverse. There'd be the crazy fucker that's recirculating thoughts, driving a donut, right? And there'd be that couple of people cruising down the road going fucking slow and enjoying life with the windows open, smiling, because every day you're moving forward. You could have easily created that story of, fuck, man, that red Jetta was the best Jetta that I ever could have had, right? I can't believe I fucked it up. And there have been jobs you've had that, like, no, they didn't work out. And they were good jobs and good gigs, but you still needed to learn things, right? And I remember there were business opportunities that I had that I was not ready for at that time. There's women that you're not ready for at the time. There's relationships that you're not ready. And it seems like that when you finally do get to that point where you're ready to have that relationship, the universe then looks and says, okay, man, you've done a lot of work. Now I'm going to give you something fucking spectacular. And it's amazing. All of a sudden, like, you're vibing with this person. You're accepting this person. You're fucking creating magic with this person. You're relaxed with that person. Then all of a sudden the universe gives you, an opportunity to make more money, right? And then you go like me and I put money in Ethereum. And of course we both know the second I put money in Ethereum, because I didn't listen to myself, because I had a buy at 11, right? Which if you think about it, because I was watching the charts, if you think
it hit 11 though.
It did hit 11 yesterday afternoon. Last week actually, it hit 11:05 or something. And my gut instinct said, all of a sudden I realized I didn't trust my gut. I was like, I got to get in. And I went against my gut. Yeah. So I had to wait for it to hit the level, to go back to where I bought it at, which is okay in the long run. But the way I've trained my brain and my mind is take advantage of an opportunity when it comes in. And I hit a certain point where I was watching the lows, and it was hitting these lows, and it was always bouncing back up. And sure enough, it hit the low that I wanted it to hit. I didn't buy because I've already bought the day before $200 more, and then it bounced back up $125, right? So that was a lesson for me that I learned. Trust my gut. And then there was another thing that I learned, right? Because investing has always been a big issue for me. I have this story of like, I can't invest, because I've had this story my whole life of I can't invest. So I haven't bought the houses I should have bought. I didn't get involved in the .com. I've had the money to do it all, but I don't do it. And then whenever I give money to people, my brother in a bar and another business investment, it goes south very fast. And, I lose all the money that I went in because that was a story. So it was interesting to see when I was watching Ethereum go down. I was thinking like, well, God, I can't sell right now because I have to be in it, because you're locked in for 9 days because of the way they do the system. And I thought to myself, this is a great lesson. So I reframed it. And I realized, I'm going to listen to my fucking gut. I'm pretty fucking smart. I understand charts. Mm-hmm. I knew exactly when to buy. I've been charting, I've been charting for a month. Mm-hmm. I wasn't ready yet. I was a day away, but I pressed the button because I had such a good day and I didn't trust my gut. So the biggest lesson for all of you is listen to your gut. Your gut is soft and malleable, and your opportunity will always come if you're moving forward, and realize that it's never investing women. This is never the last chance. And that's like the biggest fear factor. And that's the reason why so many stocks go up through the roof, right? Because all of a sudden people think it's their last chance. Like, that's the great hype behind crypto. It's like, this is the last chance for you to get in, right? When in reality, you can really learn it another month, get in February and make fucking ridiculous percentages, right? Because you spent an extra couple of days really planning things. So don't look at things as a last chance. Everything is another chance, and trust your fucking gut. So I reframed it, and then I was okay. Yeah, I checked it every 10 minutes, just to do it, but I didn't get neurotic, because I thought to myself, well, you know what? Next time I buy when I want to buy, because I've watched the chart, this could just be my long position that I can have, and there wasn't a lot of money anyway. And the fact is, it's not gonna. It's the number that I have it at is fine. Long range, between now and next January, I'm fucking fine. 100% fine. But it's the way we look at our life experiences. It's the same way with women, the same way with cars, the same way with deals, the same way with money. I remember when I was buying the Volvo, right? Volvos were never cheap. They always had the worst leases in the world. And I was like, I drove a Volvo and I want this Volvo. And I put a number out there to the universe. And sure enough, I got it for that number. And the Volvo guy looked at me and goes, we'll see you next year. Put your car in swap lease. We'll give you the 2018 left over with about the same deal. He goes, we'll see you every single year. And I said, yes, we will. And I shook his hand. Everything you can make happen based on your past experiences. Reframe stuff and always move forward in life. And now I feel, and I was thinking about it last night. It's like, God damn, my gut is really good. My head is what fucks me up. My stories fuck me up, and I don't want those stories anymore. I'm tired of the fucking stories. I talked to a couple of investors last night, and it was an interesting conversation, and It's like I'm watching these fucking charts like a motherfucker because there's opportunities all day long. Stick with what your story, the story that's being presented yourself is the story of fear and greed. Fear drops it, greed picks it. Fear, greed, and really learn life the same way. And women are the same exact way. Reframe it. Today is the best day, and that's always my mantra. Today's the best day to live life again. I love life. Wake up every morning with a fucking heart on for life, man, and just say to yourself, today's a great day. You came back from your run, and it's so funny, you know, you come back from his run, he's all ripped up, and I know he feels good because he takes his shirt off at the end of the run, and you know, it's like the chicks are looking at him, and he's like, validation, baby, look at me, man, I look fucking good. He comes in ripped like a football player, and then he fucking shoots himself with cold water in the shower, screams his head off, you know, because he's fucking grounding himself back from one high, the run, to the next high, which is this disgusting drinks that we make that look like nothing, you know, but they rehydrate, to the next high, which will be doing the vision board and creating the future, to the next high. Look at life as a series of highs. When the lows come, don't think that this was the best day possible. Every day is the best day possible. It just gets better and better and better. That's it, man. I fucking rambled. Anything else you want to add?
Get it. Get it.
Michael, anything you want to add? Michael just shakes his head, man. I love when there's silent people in the background. See, for all of you, I can mind fuck you right now. Do you know who we saw the other day? In Air One?
Who?
Woody Harrelson.
Oh, yeah?
And Owen Wilson. Who was friendlier, Woody or Owen? For those of you, I'm not going to tell you who was friendlier, right? For those of you that are interested, you can email me. David, who was friendlier, Woody or Owen? Who do you think?
I'm going to guess Owen. Based off of his personality that I've seen. Seems like a goofy guy.
And I'm not saying it. And maybe I'll tell you tomorrow. Later.